A complete profession guide for beginners in World of Warcraft Midnight. No experience needed at all of the new profession system. Even if you know the profession system, a lot has changed this expansion, so we'll cover all those changes as well. Let's get into it. You can pick 2 primary professions on each character. These include the crafting options like blacksmithing, alchemy, tailoring and enchanting, as well as gathering skills such as herbalism, mining and skinning. Professions are now split up, so say for example you have blacksmithing, you will have Midnight Blacksmithing, War Within Blacksmithing, Legion Blacksmithing, etc. These do not interact with each other. If you are starting a profession from fresh in Midnight, you start from the same place as someone who started blacksmithing say 20 years ago and has every non-Midnight recipe in the game. You are on an equal level to them. In addition to that, every character can learn all the secondary professions as well. So these are cooking, fishing and archaeology. They don't use up a primary slot and can be leveled up by anyone at any time. As you work through your profession, whether you're crafting items, gathering herbs or processing materials, you'll earn skill ups that show your growing expertise. Your profession starts at 1, but eventually you'll raise it all the way to 100 with dedication. Every recipe or gathering node has a difficulty colour. Orange recipes always give a skill point. Yellow recipes usually give a skill point, but it's not guaranteed. Green recipes only sometimes increase your skill. And once you get to a certain skill level with your professions, some crafts and gathers will not give you any skill at all as they become obsolete for you to learn from. In the early stages, progression will be fast, simple, and fairly cheap if gathering or crafting. Once you move into the higher levels, the cheap recipes will no longer give skill. It requires much more resources and dedication to progress. You'll learn most of your early recipes from your profession trainers found in the major cities. You'll need to use the Silvermoon profession trainers in this expansion if you want to progress the Midnight version of your profession. They teach the core set of recipes that you'll rely on as you level. This is generally quite simple. Learn from the trainer, craft what you can from him until he does not give any skill ups anymore, learn from him again. With most crafting professions in Midnight, you can get to around 60 out of 100 profession skill from following this fairly simple method. Beyond that, you can pick up additional recipes from quests, reputation vendors, treasure chests, dungeon drops, and even rare mobs. If you're not sure where a recipe comes from, hover over it in the crafting window. The tooltip will tell you its source, whether it's from a trainer, reputation, a drop, or whatever, so that you can track it down more easily. So quick recap then. Early on, most professions are fairly cheap to level. Basic recipes use common materials, so picking up your first skill points doesn't cost much. As you level your profession up more, the cost rises. Advanced recipes tend to need rarer materials, special components, which makes the later stages of professional leveling much more resource intensive. Okay, so let's get started on some of the messy stuff. World of Warcraft used to be simple. You used to have some herbs, you turn those herbs into a potion, done deal. Nowadays things are a bit more complicated. Now we have some basic materials that are just like they always have been in World of Warcraft. For example, in Midnight we have motes of light, primal, void and wild. These are similar to the elemental crafting regions that we have had in previous expansions like primals in Burning Crusade, awakened fires etc. in Dragonflight. You get the idea. Elemental crafting regions, we have these in Midnight, and every single mote of light, for example, is the same as every other one. However, things like herb, ore, cloth, enchanting dust and shards, these come in 2 different ranks, the basic silver rank and the higher quality gold rank. Say you pick up mining right at the start of the expansion, at this point it is impossible for you to mine any of the golden rank 2 ores, you just don't have the skill. After pushing your profession skill and knowledge, profession gear for a few days, you may rarely start getting some of those rank 2 golden ores to drop amongst all the rank 1 stuff you get. A month into the expansion, lots more mining upgrades and progression, and rank 2 ore drops become quite a regular occurrence. The golden rank 2 materials sell for more than the basic silver rank 1s because they are rarer and they are much more useful in crafting. Now you could be farming the same amount of ore every hour, but because the proportion of higher quality, more valuable materials is increased, the amount of gold that you're making from your mining is higher when you progress more. Now, when we are crafting, we have similar rules. We still have things in the game that have no quality at all. Say for example these bags All of them are exactly the same, whatever skill level or materials you put into them. Most crafted things in Midnight will have the same ranks as the materials, a basic rank 1 silver and a higher quality gold rank 2. You can see me here comparing a bright limning spell thread. The rank 1 version gives 16 intellect, whereas the rank 2 golden version gives 24. Arcane Mastery Weapon Enchant. The basic rank gives a 100 mastery proc bonus for 15 seconds, whereas the higher golden rank 2 version gives 125 for 15 seconds. So generally, the higher quality, obviously the better. The majority of craftables have 2 ranks of potions, cloth bolts, engineering parts, gems, enchants, alloys, pretty much almost anything. Gear has 5 ranks, either gear you directly equipped on your character or profession gear that we will talk about in a bit. Like with the other bits we looked into, higher ranks increased item level and or stats. Therefore, crafting revolves not only around creating items, but also about producing them at the highest possible quality. Your ability to craft a higher rank version depends on how your total skill compares to the recipe's difficulty. If your skill is higher than the recipe's difficulty, then you will automatically craft it at the highest possible level. You can see here that with my current setup, I can produce these level working knives at rank 2, the silver rank at 42 blacksmithing skill, and I need to get to 100 skill to push this to rank 3. So where is this skill number coming from then? Your base skill is basically whatever your current profession skill is leveled up to. If your profession is maxed at 100, then with no extra bonuses, then you will automatically craft any recipe with a difficulty of 100 or below at its highest quality because your skill is higher than that recipe's difficulty. This is why early trainer recipes, which usually have low difficulty, are easy to craft at maximum quality once your skill starts rising. In this example, you can see here that each time I level up my profession skill, my skill on the craft increases to match it. However, that simplicity disappears once you reach end game crafting. Recipes for high-end gear, profession tools, and advanced consumables often have difficulty ratings well into the 500 plus range. To craft these items at the highest quality, you need to raise your total skill far beyond your base profession level. This is where specialization trees, profession gear, and temporary crafting bonuses start to matter. Investing in these systems is essential if you want to consistently craft items at the highest quality. Without them, even a fully leveled profession won't be enough to reach the top ranks on advanced recipes. Early crafting feels simple and forgiving, but endgame crafting is very different. It takes planning, the right upgrades, and a focused approach to get the most out of your profession. One of the strongest ways to raise your crafting skill and deal with the higher difficulty of advanced recipes is by using higher quality gold tier materials. When you use the higher rank materials, it increases your effective crafting skill for that recipe, improving your chances of producing a higher quality item. This bonus stacks with your base profession skill. Like I said earlier, the higher rank 2 gold materials are usually more expensive and harder to obtain than the lower quality versions, so using them comes with a greater resource cost. It is important to choose carefully when to use these premium regions. For example, here I'm using rank 1 materials and I only have 42 skill, which is my base profession skill. When I switch to higher rank 2 ignites, I'm using higher rank materials and I have 122 skill. The better quality regions boost my effective skill enough to craft a rank 3 level working knife, halfway to rank 4 as well, instead of rank 2. In fact, for almost all endgame crafting, using max rank 2 golden materials is mandatory. The difficulty of late game recipes is high enough that without the skill boost from top tier materials, you simply won't be able to consistently hit the highest item ranks. This adds a layer to crafting where managing and investing in your supply of high quality materials becomes essential for creating competitive gear, powerful consumables, and valuable profession gear. Profession gear is special equipment that boosts your crafting and gathering abilities. Unlike regular armor and weapons, it gives you a boost to your base skill, making it easier to hit those higher recipe difficulties, but it also gives you a bonus to some profession stats as well. Each profession has 3 pieces of profession gear, a profession tool and 2 accessories. Profession gear comes in 3 quality levels, so we have the uncommon version, a rare version, and an epic version. And of course, each of these can be rank 1 to rank 5, like with all gear. Uncommon gear at rank 5 is usually easy to find or buy on the auction house a few days into an expansion. In contrast, rank 5 rare or epic gear must be crafted through crafting orders, often requires rare and costly materials, making it more difficult to obtain and a specialist crafter. The 2 bits of accessory profession gear have fixed stats, so every rank 5 uncommon version, for example, will be the same for all players, regardless of specialisation or playstyle. The 3rd piece is your profession tool, which is more customisable. It provides a large amount of a single profession stat, and when crafting it, you can use a missive to choose which stat to focus on, like when you're crafting gear for your character, depending on what you want to do with your profession. You can also add a profession enchant to your crafting tool, further boosting its bonuses and tailoring it to your needs. The combination of missives and enchants allows for meaningful customization, helping you get the most out of your profession. Knowing exactly what stats to choose can take a bit more knowledge, but luckily I wrote everything you need to know on the completely free profession guides on the Discord. Feel free to join us over there and take advantage of that. That's all linked in the comments below. Profession stats come from your profession gear as well as from enchants, consumables and knowledge. Each stat affects a different aspect of crafting or gathering, such as increasing crafting speed, improving item quality, or allowing you to use less materials when crafting. By investing in the right stats, you can shape your crafting or gathering to match your goals, whether that's creating top quality gear, working more efficiently, or lowering material costs. Gathering and crafting professions each have stats that are unique to them. So for gathering, we have finesse that increases the chance of you getting a proc to gather extra materials. We have deftness that boosts your gathering speed, helping you to gather more quickly. And we have perception that raises your chance to find rare materials when you are farming. So crafting has multi-craft that gives you a chance to create additional items when crafting. Ingenuity that provides a chance to refund concentration when crafting, allowing you to craft more with your concentration. Resourcefulness gives you a chance to recover materials during crafting, lowering overall crafting costs. Crafting speed increases crafting speed, making it easier to reach the 75% crafting speed cap. From a crafting perspective, multi-craft is king if it works. Not every recipe has a chance to proc multi-craft. To check, look at the item tooltip for a multi-craft percentage. If it isn't listed, the recipe cannot trigger multi-craft. Most things that can't multi-craft, things such as gear that can be crafted up to rank 5, anything that can craft up to rank 5 cannot multi-craft. In addition to that, some other quirky things within the profession system such as prospecting and milling and things like that. Most recipes capped at rank 2 such as potions, intermediate crafting materials and gems can trigger multi-craft. The only real exception is enchants, which cannot trigger multi-craft even though they are also capped at rank 2. Multi-craft is by far the most valuable profession stat, so it's important to know which crafts can benefit from it. If your recipes can trigger multi-craft, you should prioritise maximising it. For crafts that don't benefit from multi-craft, resourcefulness is usually the next best stat to focus on, as it helps reduce your material costs. Ingenuity is typically stronger than resourcefulness, but only if you're crafting with concentration. For regular crafting without concentration, ingenuity has no value at all. Crafting speed is generally not worth prioritising. So concentration is a crafting resource introduced in the War Within expansion and carried forward to Midnight. It allows crafters to focus on a recipe, helping guaranteed higher quality results even when their base skill alone isn't sufficient. Each crafting profession has its own separate concentration pool capped at 1000 points. Concentration regenerates steadily at around 10 points per hour, so it takes roughly 4 days to recover from 0 back to the maximum. As mentioned earlier, crafting top quality endgame items usually requires a combination of maximum profession skill, fully upgraded profession tools, optimized knowledge specialization, and the highest quality materials, typically expensive rank 2 components. Basically everything maxed out to be able to produce the best quality output. Concentration provides a way to bypass some of these costly requirements. It is a limited, regenerating resource that allows you to guarantee max quality crafts even without perfect stats or materials. It basically pushes the rank up of whatever you are crafting at the cost of this limited resource. This is mostly used to craft high rank items using rank 1 materials, dramatically lowering crafting costs while still producing best in slot results. As a result, profit margins can be excellent, and it's difficult for others to compete if they rely solely on expensive materials. Generally speaking, because of its profitability, you don't need to have a fully optimized setup to benefit from concentration crafting. Even a basic profession build without rare tools can be effective, which has led to the rise of the concentration crafter meta, where players set up multiple characters with minimal investment to craft only when concentration is available. Many players see this as a modern take on the classic daily cooldown system from earlier versions of World of Warcraft. That said, regular crafting remains profitable, and it's still entirely possible to make good gold even in professions heavily populated by concentration-focused crafters. If you want a casual and easy way to make steady gold, then concentration crafting on alts is definitely a good way to go, and I've got guides for all of these. Profession knowledge is a core progression system that lets you specialise and improve your crafting or gathering abilities. Each profession has its own knowledge tree, with multiple branches focusing on different aspects such as crafting certain item types, improving material efficiency, boosting secondary stats, or enhancing concentration. You earn profession knowledge points from various sources. One-time sources include profession treasures. Each profession has 8 hidden treasures in the world, and each grants 3 knowledge points. First time bonus, you gain 1 knowledge point the first time you craft anything with a profession. This means that when you're leveling, it's a good idea to turn the first time crafts option on and craft one of everything that is not too expensive. It can cost a little bit more to level up your profession this way, but it's usually worth it for the extra knowledge points. Knowledge books, these grant 10 knowledge points each and can be purchased from renowned vendors. So your weekly sources of profession knowledge includes completing patron orders can grant several glimmers of profession knowledge, each providing 2 knowledge points. Regular treasures, collecting world treasures rewards 2 items for each profession, and each of these grants 2 profession knowledge. And you have a weekly profession quest as well, so each profession has a weekly quest from its trainer that rewards knowledge points upon completing. The knowledge points are central to progressing with professions. A huge amount of bonuses come from this. You can see we have all these nodes, and each node we can usually put between 10 and 40 knowledge points in. If you scroll over the middle, you can see that you get a bonus for every point you put in this node. In this case, you get +1 skill while crafting cloth equipment. You can put 30 points here, so that's +30 skill while crafting cloth equipment. And that +30 skill will add onto the base whenever we craft any cloth equipment that we was looking at earlier. You can see here that every 5 knowledge points allocated here unlocks another bonus. Sometimes these are to unlock the next stage of the tree. Sometimes it will be more crafting stats like resourcefulness or multicraft. It can even be another bonus plus skill, and on occasions it might be new recipes as well. Where you decide to put your points depends on your goals. For tailoring, those that want to craft cloth armour or profession gear will go to the knowledge tree we just looked at. Nimble needleworkers for those who want to specialise in arcana weave and sunfire bolts and their associated crafts. Fabric specialist is largely for those who want to use their tailoring for farming cloth rather than for crafting. And finally, fibre arts on the far right has a lot of increase in secondary stats for crafting, such as multi-craft and resourcefulness, helping those that want to be crafting something like tailoring bolts more efficiently. Basically, we have an option here for whatever you want to do with your profession. How you allocate your knowledge points depends on your goals. Eventually you can get everything if you're dedicated, but the most important choice is what you want to do in the early expansion. I've already min-maxed the majority of profession setups, so you can just follow the guides on the Discord rather than potentially making mistakes yourself, as they are usually permanent. Blizzard may bring in a one-off profession reset later on in the expansion, but at the time of recording we don't have that. As with items secured in previous expansions, Moxie is used to purchase a variety of things like recipes that are useful for your profession. Your primary source of Moxie will be the activities that earn knowledge, as when you earn knowledge, you earn Moxie at the same time. Therefore, most of our Moxie will come from first-time crafts, profession treasures, and patron orders. Patron orders are special profession quests, available at your crafting table in Silvermoon. They task you with crafting items or fulfilling requests for various NPC patrons. The main benefit of patron orders is the bonus knowledge points and Moxie they provide, but they can also reward a variety of other valuable crafting resources as well. Completing these orders regularly is a key way to advance efficiently in your professions and unlock new crafting opportunities. Keep in mind that the cost of individual patron orders can vary wildly. Some may require thousands of gold worth of materials, while others are almost always profitable. In fact, some orders provide every single material, so all you need to do is press craft and it costs you nothing. Another important point here is that you can trigger resourcefulness procs while completing these orders. Any material refunded through resourcefulness are added to your inventory, even if you did not provide these materials initially. This can generate significant gold if you get a proc on expensive rank 2 materials that you didn't supply. Our main goal with patron orders are the glimmers of profession knowledge, providing us with 2 knowledge points each. If you fall behind in your profession, you can also start to get up to 3 flicker orders daily. Each of these rewards 1 knowledge point. You don't have to complete every single order. If an order looks highly unprofitable, it's usually best just to skip it. Even if you don't need the knowledge points or rewards, some orders can still be a good way to earn gold when chosen carefully. The last thing to quickly touch on for those that have come back to the game is crafting orders. This is a system by which you can get a crafter to craft something for you, usually an epic piece of gear or some higher quality profession gear that is normally bind on pickup. You can usually find someone in trade chat to craft it for you. If you're in a low population server and you can't find anyone, then just find someone on a higher population server, get into the same guild as them and do it via guild order cross server. You can use this NPC in the middle of Silvermoon to carry out these orders. Always make sure you put a minimum quality when you send the orders to someone if that is what you need. Public orders tend to be pretty crappy, you're better off just sending them directly to a crafter you have spoken to. That is pretty much it. That should give you a foundation to be able to use the profession system within the game. You are better off following a profession guide for the actual knowledge allocation, enchants, all that sort of stuff, like the ones that we have on the Discord for free, at least until you get more used to the system. If you found this video helpful, then please leave it a like, it really helps me out. And let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the updated profession system in World of Warcraft compared to what we had pre-Dragonflight?